Fabulous. So welcome to the next instalment of Sante Group's Lunch and Learn. Today I'm joined by Dravan Patel, an ophthalmologist and CEO of Ocushield. So whilst studying ophthalmology, you researched into blue light and the effects on eye physiology and also the circadian rhythm, leading to the creation of Ocushield products and a proud partner of Sante Group. So without further ado, I'll pass over to Dravan, who's going to be talking today about digital eye strain. So we can't wait to hear more.
Thank you so much, Jenna. Brilliant. So thank you all for being here to observe and listen to what I have to share today. Just to add to Jenna's kind introduction, I'm actually an optometrist, very close to ophthalmology, very similar, get confused all the time. But as an optometry, no problem. As an optometrist, we're eye experts when it comes to understanding how the eyes work and prescribing the glasses to help people see. But just a bit about me, I'm the founder of Ocushield, and my role is to make sure that we can create innovative products and solutions to help employees and consumers let their eyes thrive. And our products are found in retailers such as John Lewis, but we also sell to corporates. And if anyone wants to see me sweat, I've been on Dragon's Den as well, so give us a bit of a Google. But we're quite proud to have also won a King's Award for all the work we do in eye care. So we're eyes obsessed. But enough about me. I will jump into today's presentation and what we're going to cover off. So 3 key overarching topics really for today around physical health, digital eye strain, vision loss, and MSK, and also what can be done to support employees to solve the problems that they have around that. Now, I'll just kick off with some information here which will paint the picture for you in terms of eyes. Now, at the moment, we're all spending more time than ever on screens, and it's reported that 8 hours a day is the average on screen time for employees. And a recent report from Deloitte mentioned actually 90% of us suffer from one symptom of digital eye strain. So that could be tired eyes, eye strain, or headaches. And this contributes to about 4.1 days being lost every year. And that's because we turn our laptop or monitor off 30 minutes to 1 hour towards the end of the day, or we're extending lunch breaks because we're just exhausted from all the work we're doing, right? And, at the moment, this contributes in many ways, and employees manifest this because, for example, screens are items that are used at close distances. When we have to look at something close up, our visual system has to converge. So our eyes actually come together, it has to accommodate, and that's using more visual processing power. And if you imagine when you go to the gym, you do about 10 reps and then you kind of have a breather. But if you imagine you're working on screens non-stop and you're not giving your eyes a breather, they're going to get fatigued more quickly. Artificial light exposure, so we're staring at bigger, brighter screens. They're enriched with short wavelength blue light, which we know means that our visual system has to, again, work harder to process that type of light versus other colors that is in the light spectrum. As screens have advanced, screen flickering and resolution has also caused problems for us as well. So if you've ever taken a camera and recorded a screen, you might see that it flickers sometimes, and that's something our eyes are again having to process at the same time. And I already mentioned that screens are obviously becoming bigger and brighter, so that intensity of the light source is also making it very much harder for our visual system to process and work day to day. And why is this important? Well, when it comes to eyes, there's eye diseases that impact us day to day if we're not careful. So there's eye diseases like glaucoma, cataracts, diabetic retinopathy, and macular degeneration. And all of these eye diseases actually take out parts of your vision. So you can see the images on the right-hand side. If we look at glaucoma, this takes your peripheral vision away and allows you your central vision. Macular degeneration affects your central vision and allows you to see in the periphery. Now, these are really scary eye diseases, and if any of us had them, it would affect our quality of life. But what's really important to note is 52% of any sight loss is preventable through early detection. And if we combine the notion of digital eye strain and sight loss, what we're really seeing is people at the moment are just not engaged with eye care. And I'll explain a little bit further. If we cast our attention to this graph on the right-hand side, we generally get eyes tested when we're 0 to 19 years old because our parents drag us in for a free eye exam at the opticians. When you're 45 and over, we go through something called presbyopia. So it's where we need reading glasses to see close up. But in the middle, that 20 to 45 region, we're just not getting our eyes tested unless we already wear glasses. And this is a problem because we're suffering from, as you can see from the graph, the most digital eye strain. But also, if we're not looking after our eyes, it's too late, and therefore we then get eye diseases, which something could have been done before they were diagnosed. And that's why vision is so important. How can we do something before something happens? And that preventative piece is really key. And we know MSK is a big problem at work as well. When's the last time you suffered from a sore back or sore neck? And actually 35% of all MSK issues start with the eyes. And it makes sense, right? If you can't see or you have a vision problem over a factor of 30 minutes to a couple hours, you're going to be moving closer towards your monitor. You won't realize it, but that's what happens. And that's where your MSK issues can start from. And no amount of good furniture or chairs can help you there. You really need to make sure you're looking after the eyes and supporting from a starting point. And actually, before I move on, I just wanted to touch on the kind of the preventative piece when it comes to sight loss. In the UK, we know that NHS is struggling, and actually the biggest backlog of outpatients that are waiting to be seen is in ophthalmology, which is where they're sent into the NHS for eye surgeries. And there's 700,000 people waiting for an appointment. And that's because a lot of them have not looked after their eyes, and they've got to a point where actually I have a problem now, and the opticians can't do much about it because I need to go into secondary or tertiary care. And there is a lot of opticians on the high street, so we can get the primary care support, but because we're not engaged, we're putting the eyes at the back of kind of our to-do list, we're then not supporting how we could actually look after them in the first place. So that's why preventive care is so important. And that leads me on to kind of some of the services that we offer via the Sante Group. And one key solution is online eye screening. So this is where employees can screen their eyes in 4 minutes from a smartphone or laptop. It's a web-based solution, so no app needs to be downloaded, no friction point, very easy to share with employees via email. It's obviously on the Sante app as well. And employees can quickly screen their eyes for things like vision, or if you wear glasses, your potential prescription changes, color vision, astigmatism, contrast sensitivity, depth perception, and visual field. They then get a nice report which says, right, Jenna, in your left eye it seems your vision's not that great, your color vision's poor, and your visual field's contracted. Here's what you need to do next. And we digitally integrate with national providers like a Vision Express or Specsavers, where the individual can book their appointment there and then. Because what we're trying to do is create behavioral change. It's great being told that you have a problem, but we want to give people a kick up the bum to say, actually, here's an easy way for you to book and then get seen, so we can resolve that problem for you. And here's a quote from our clinical innovation lead, Dr. Raj Kohli. He was actually also a senior NHS commissioner. And, coming back to the problems that NHS is suffering with, he just highlights here that, look, with this solution, we can provide that appropriate reassurances from a home or office, or we can provide the individual to say, look, something's not quite right, so do something about it, and then save the burden on the NHS that currently is there by being seen in primary care. And our solution, also has some key features such as providing an eye performance score. So we want users to revisit the tool and improve their score over time. And for those that pass all the tests, we're also providing self-management. So we provide digital eye strain, eye exercises. So eye exercises individuals can do on a day. It takes less than a minute, and that can reduce the stress that they have from any digital eye strain if need be. What's really interesting is we work with corporates at the moment, and we get questions like, oh, if you're going to engage that working population that currently isn't engaged with optical benefits, because most of them already wear glasses, the ones that are claiming or engaged, isn't it want to drive our claims up, or more people request an eye test or vouchers? Yes and no. 91% of those who pass an Ocushield test do not go on to book an eye examination. So actually what we're doing is we're providing that reassurance. And 32% of those that fail do go on to book an eye examination. So of course we're not getting 100% there because people still choose what they want to do, but it's better than 0% of your working population not going on doing something when there's something wrong with their eyes. This complicated diagram, ignore it, but what we're broadly saying here is, with our screening solution, we can screen up to 80% of all symptoms within 4 minutes. And again, providing reassurance where needed, and self-guided management. And if we can't support them, we're pushing that individual into a care network, which is primary care, and then ophthalmology if needed. And here's a wonderful case study that we've worked with a direct corporate with. And there's a couple key stats here for myself, which is employees at this employer found that every 3 to 6 months, 53% of their employees were reusing the service. And for an optometrist like me, that's really encouraging because we recommend employees or patients get eyes tested every 2 years. So with this stat, that means actually they're getting their eyes screened for our solution maybe up to 8 times in a 2-year period, which is a fantastic amount of engagement for them to stay on top of their eyes. Through our software, we send automated quarterly reminders for the employee to engage in the eye screening test. And the resolve bit here as well, where we've got 62.5% of employees said that they take less time off work after using the eye screening service and the support. And we dug a little bit deeper into that. And what was interesting was it's because the population that don't get their eyes tested, generally we feel we're invincible, we can see very well with both eyes. But actually what happens is one of our eyes are weaker and we don't know it. Unless you cover your eyes like this, you generally can't tell. But what we found was the employees that were flagging up as failing the eye screening test and then went to the opticians, they realized they actually needed glasses because one of their eyes was weaker and it was causing them daily eye strain or headaches. And then once they got prescribed those glasses, they could see in high definition and it solved their daily issues. So this is the kind of resolve that we're trying to build here with the solution, which is engage the workforce, and if they have an issue, get that resolved. And I'd just like to conclude by saying, eyes and vision is one of our most coveted 10, but it's probably one of our organs that are least looked after. So let's improve eye health and boost productivity with the solution that we provide via Sante Group. Thank you.
That was brilliant. Thank you. I must admit, the sharp intake of breath when you referred to my name with the online screening, because I do have a problem in my left eye. You called it out. So I'll be honest, I think this is a fantastic solution. And for someone who does use glasses, needs glasses, it's a fantastic tool and such a time saver, huge time saver, especially if you were in the working environment. You can do this during a lunch hour. You don't need that long, but yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. Just on that as well, it's for office-based workers, but also people on the go, right? It's for anyone, because it can be done with a smartphone or laptop. It's really useful for someone to quickly pick it up and screen their eyes. Yeah,
absolutely. And seeing in high definition, I remember the first time I put my glasses on, having had them tested, and I was thinking, oh my God, colours were really vivid. It was bizarre. But if you could give just one takeaway, obviously, lots of fantastic stats and information and guidance there, but if there's one sort of takeaway that we can leave people with, or a top tip, any advice?
My top tip, I think there's 2 key things that people can do every day to reduce the burden on their eyes. One is working distance. So when you're next working at your laptop or monitors, try to work at least at arm's length away. So you can see I put my arm out now, I was actually sitting quite close. But if you're working, try to just work at arm's length at least a little bit away. And then also just brightness of your screen. Just bring down the brightness of your screen. Those 2 things, it will compound over a week's time, and you'll find that actually your eyes feel a lot better just by doing those 2 things.
Fabulous. Thank you. Well, I'd just like to thank everyone for tuning in, and for any individuals out there who want to explore the digital eye screening tool, and particularly within, the managed working environment, please do reach out. And if there are any individuals, again, who would like some further information, advice and guidance, please do let me know, and we can put you in touch with the Ocushield team. But again, for myself at Sante Group, I'd like to thank Driven from Ocushield for joining us today. And if there are any follow-up questions, please do let us know. Thank you.